1, go.
So we're gonna put together a box mod real fast. Get your case and all your parts ready. Need one of these too. It'll do it. So first we're gonna take a piece of the 12 gauge wire, trim it back about that far. Same as much room as you need for your battery terminals. Take our negative terminals, stretch them out a little bit so they slip on nice and easy. This is actually 14, sorry. Position them. Use the box to gauge the distance. And if you're going to err on a little bit larger than the spacing, because you can always bend the wire a little bit out of the way, but you can't stretch it so easy. Locked up. A little wire hoop isn't big enough for how much power you're going to put through this, so you need to solder it right to the back side. That. Make sure they're good solder joints. Keep your soldering iron nice and clean. Once they cool off enough to touch, go ahead and pop them in so that we can gauge where to bend the wire. We don't want to put them in all the way. So these are a little bit wide, so we can just push the wire, bend the wire a little bit. I like to use the FET just so I know where to bend this wire. Cut half the leg off of there, off the source leg. Trim this back. Use my razor to cut through the insulation, pull it off. So this is going like this. That's what we want to do. Flip this over, make sure we pre-tin this real nice. It sticks easy. Like that. Pre-tin the fat leg. can either put the resistor on the FET now or put it on after. I'm going to put it on at the end. Pick up a little bit of solder. Something to hold the FET still. Stick it together. Just like that. Just want to double check and make sure it fits nice. Need to bend this wire, get the battery connectors in right. It's going to be a good fit, so get it back out. And we want to bend the center post of this FET. About like that. About like that. Go ahead and pre-tin it. Take a piece of 18 gauge, trim it back just a little bit longer than the leg for the FET. Twist it up. Pre-tin it. Make sure it's pre-tinned all the way through. Clean the soldering iron, pick up a little bit more solder. And go ahead and stick that. Wow, it's not usually this hard. I'll make sure it's a nice connection. We're gonna go ahead and trim that the same length as the leg. Take this little piece that was a little bit longer and use it for our 510 connector. Slide it through. Squeezed it when I had a round when I cut it. Fix that. Slide it through like that. It's all pre-tinned. the solder. Just like that. Put the 510 in. Doesn't just fit real easy, then shape the box with a razor blade a little bit. Won't take much. And with our grounding washer, we want to cut this thing off. Bend it about halfway, so up like that. Then pre-tin it. Notice we pre-tin everything. And once that's cooled down enough, flip it over that. And your locking nut. Come on. Got too much hanging out of that. That's what I invented knickers for. Maybe take a break and make another video as soon as I get this all together right here.
Yo.
Okay, so I got the nut down and the ground washer's in there. So now we can take this and pop it back in. It should just go right in pretty easy. Like that. With these battery connectors. Pop them on about halfway in case you have to take them off. Push the set down in there and bend the drain. Bring that grounding washer up a little bit. You want to bend the drain of the FET over. So we just have one solder connection right there. We want to bend the gate leg up. Kind of like that. We can add our switch. look, when you're twisting that in there, that the FET leg just bumps right off of the side of the switch leg. So now all we ought to do is come in and just put a tiny bit of solder on there. On the switch connection, you only need enough solder to hold it. It's not a power connection. But on this ground connection, you need to make sure you get plenty of solder in there because it is a power connection. It's good. So we want to take a piece of 14 that's been stripped back, put a little hook on the end, really a hook, just a 90-degree bend, like that. We'll measure across where the battery connectors are going to be. Just cut it. Take our positive terminals and stretch them out a little bit. Just the wire loop on them. And then we want to put them in this way. Still a little bit tight. I just stretch them out enough so they're kind of tight on there. Just them. Go ahead and pop those into place. See that positive bar, now that little hook is touching the switch terminal, so all you got to do is solder that, but we're going to solder these other terminals in first so that one will go quick because that wire will already be hot without melting the switch. Terminals get really hot, so you don't want to spend a whole lot of time doing this. But it's okay if it heats up the plastic a little bit. It's not going to go anywhere and it'll just get hard again. Like that, and come up. The switch connector's not a high power connector, so you only need enough solder so it's connected like that. We'll go, it's perfect. I take this wire hanging off of the 510 connector and trim it just a little bit. I like to use the razor to score the wire, the insulation. Keep that as short as possible, get the most power through it. Back. Go ahead and pre-pen that. pre-tend the top of that positive bar. Take your tweezers, flip this wire around so that it's touching that top bar right where you pre-tend it. So, then go ahead and put some solder on your iron and stick it. This is another power connection. You get a lot of power through here, so you want to make sure it's soldered really nice. And the resistor, could have put it in earlier. You just stick it on your MOSFET like you normally do. I found this way to work pretty fast and simple. Just trim it back, pre-tin it, and that negative terminal down there is already pre-tinned from earlier, so just stick it down there on that. Trim that leg off. Just push it down onto the switch. Pick up some solder. Stick it. That easy. Push the negative terminals all the way in. And it's done. All we got to do is test it. Fires when it's supposed to, shuts right off. Ready? Yeah. Box Mod 101.